Do you know, I've been watching the movies recently and I'm not convinced they're realistic. Only the other day I was sitting there watching my television with the old remote control on, seeing a James Bond film. I like James Bond and I think it's great, Secret Service and all that sort of stuff, but there's something about it which just makes me feel it's not quite right. Inasmuch as there they were at the end of the film in this, I don't know, this volcanic sort of secret lair. The McNasty character was there, sort of overseeing everybody, and there were millions of people buzzing about in their zipped up to the front and looking very posh indeed. White boiler suits, which on the ladies looked very nice. But on the men, just hung down a little bit, you know, lucid. Anyway, they were all running around, and over in one corner there was this massive, great big rocket, and I think it was going to sort of destroy parts of the world. I'm not quite 100% sure, but that's, I think, the premise of it. And then there was this bloke. There was this funny sort of, I don't know, sort of Eastern extraction sort of bloke who was sitting there with a microphone, and he was going, 532 and counting, 547 and counting. And he was obviously counting down, his voice through a microphone was booming all around, adding tension and excitement to this whole process. 532 and counting. And I thought, you know, I wonder how you ever get to be like that. I could imagine him, you know, back at school, sitting there in the careers lesson, and the master coming up to him going, "You, Smithers, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And then sitting there and thinking for a moment, "Oh, sir, I'll tell you what I'd like to be. I would like to work for an evil empire with a McNasty who's like some weird balding despot who likes blowing up parts of the world and stroking cats. And then I want to be in that, I want to be the man that counts down from huge numbers all the way to zero, launching rockets into space." And I thought, I bet there can't be many openings for that really, can there? You never know. So, how would he get a job like that? I don't know. You obviously got to apply in the normal way, send in a letter. "Please, sir, could I be the man that counts down?" And then I thought, so there you are, you've got the job, you've got your patent special boiler suit.
Da da diddly doo, da da diddly dum, diddly dee, diddly dum.
And you're able to march around and you clock in and you sit down and you do your counting and you've obviously got a huge number to start from and everybody's stopping as soon as you do the 529 and counting. 532 and counting. I wonder if they give you a special voice coaching for that so that, you know, you get that certain monotony into your voice. 547 and counting. But then, of course, once you start the job, well, you can't stop, can you? Because obviously everybody is waiting for you to get down to zero. What happens if you know, get a bit caught short and you need to go to the lavatory and all of a sudden it's 527 and counting. 526 and, oh, I need to go counting. And you're running into the cubicle. Presumably you can take the microphone with you because they've probably got Wi-Fi or radio controlled and all that. And there you are with your little nudger thingy out, having a little whittle.
537 and counting.
500, no, that's so good, and counting. Whoop, zip it all up. Oh yes, that's so nice. Then I thought, well, you know, how do you go home? You've obviously got to live on the job, haven't you? And that can't be nice, can it? I mean, there's no windows for one thing. You've probably got to live on a volcanic sort of lair with the heat of that, which can't be very pleasant. So presumably your wife has to come in and cook you your meals in the evening. Or if you do go home and you do see her, well, what happens if you get a little bit amorous with her all the time? You're 518 and counting. I say, you're looking lovely tonight, love. 574 and counting. Oh, 500, I'll have some of that if you don't mind. Could you bend over, please? I'm coming in and counting. That feels so much better. So it's not an easy job, obviously. But of course, it suddenly dawned on me that actually, what kind of prospects are there? For example, we all have seen these films and we all know that they never get to zero, do they? After all, the hero in these launch expedition things when they're sending rockets that are going to blow up the world, it never happens. The hero comes in. We know it never happens, otherwise, well, we wouldn't be here for one thing. So the hero comes in and he gets a metaphorical spanner and he throws it into the works. Ba-doing, cling, clang, clong. And of course we have a lot of explosions, we have flames, we have loud noises, it's all very tedious. And a lot of people end up falling off these gantries, don't they? They're all, for some reason, they're on a gantry doing absolutely nothing, usually with a machine gun, cleaning their nails, big explosion. And they fall into a big vat of blubbery liquid, which, has to be said, is probably a bit of a grim death. So, if your man, our man Smithers, who's doing all the counting, 522 and counting, well, he's probably a bit lower than that by this point. He's usually about getting on for nearly 1, isn't he? He's nearly get down to the lowest number. It's 10 and counting, 7 and counting, 5 and counting. Hero comes in, spanner in the works, everything blows up. He doesn't get to it. Now he's running for his life. Oh, gosh, help, no, no. And the whole thing is an old cake hole. Complete and utter cake hole. But at some point, he is going to go knocking on the door, hello, of the cash office. He is going to go in there and there'll be a man sitting in the cash office going, yes, I've got my timesheet. And he'll hand over his bit of paper and the man will go, no, yes, I see. What is this? You can't have this. You can't possibly expect us to pay you. You haven't done your proper work. You haven't got to 0. You only got down to number 3. Your job was to count down from 758,262 to 0, but you only got to number 3. We're not paying you. I'm sorry. Our legal lawyers are very clever like that. You won't be paid. So the poor bugger is there saying, well, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. He should have watched the movies because it all happens in there. And that is why I say to you, gentle viewer, that the movies, they're not really accurate, are they? Bye-bye. 572.